Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Exploring DC, where we take a piece of DC and explore with you. I am your host, Josh. With me today is my lovely co host, as always, Jackson and Jalen. How are we doing?
Water.
Yeah? Tap water?
Nah, it's from the Brita.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jalen?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. I also got my water, but it's just Deer Park. So I'm not as cool as Jackson.
Yeah. We're doing the rare day recording
I
that we never
know.
do, as we can see in Jackson's background. The light peeks by. I feel like our podcast is such a late night vibe, though.
That's because we do it late at night, Josh.
It has like the late night show energy of what like our podcast isn't.
Well, I have my whole day ahead of me, and I don't know about you. You know what? What are you guys doing after this? Like, what are you doing for the rest of your day?
I'm gonna work on your thing, Jackson, and
Oh,
I'm
that's
also
cool.
gonna eat some food and enjoy. Actually, I might start because we're doing Peacemaker next week. I might keep watching Peacemaker.
I already finished. Fuck
Wow,
y'all.
you were ahead of the game, man.
Yeah, I put my dad on, and he's been watching it, so I watched it with him.
Oh, good. Is he liking it?
Yeah, no, I said we finished last night. He really liked it.
Good. Yeah.
Which is just we'll talk about it today probably, but just the funniest character arc for my dad. We'll get into that today.
Good. Yeah. But should be a fun day. I'm excited.
Jalen,
Yeah.
what are you doing? What are you doing the rest of the day?
I got like 3 meetings for something, and then I am just watching movies all day, man.
Nice.
Ooh.
I'm
You
just
got any
watching
like that
movies
you
all day.
planned out, or are you just gonna find
So I'm finishing the Before trilogy. I watched Before
Ooh.
Sunrise, Before
Ooh.
Sunset.
Those are good
Sunset
ones.
Sunset might be my favorite. They are both perfect, but Sunset might
Mhm.
be my favorite so far. And then I'm
Sunset's a
going
really
into
good one.
and then I'm going into Midnight today, and then
All three, fantastic.
I'm also watching Naked Gun.
The new one
Yeah,
or the old
Yeah,
one?
no, the new one with Liam Neeson. So
so
Oh,
good. It's so good.
so good. I had a
yeah, so I'm
blast with
excited.
that one. Good.
I'm excited.
Everyone
So.
owes Ted 2 an apology.
Everyone's always owed Ted 2 an apology.
Yes, I know, but specifically now because the bits that people are saying they love in this movie are like the most Ted bits of the movie.
I
I'm
was
so
ahead of the
excited to
game.
watch
That's
it.
all I'm gonna say, man.
I'm
Huh?
so excited to watch it, bro.
Yeah.
Like all I've heard is like that this movie is nothing but like craziness from start
Oh, it
to
is. It's so funny.
finish.
Yeah, you're in. Today we're talking about the Suicide Squad. We're ramping up, getting ready for Peacemaker, which is our next DCU project. Supervillains of Bell Rev join the super secret, super shady Task Force X as they are dropped off at the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. Directed and written by James Gunn. We don't need to. We know Jimmy.
Who's James Gunn?
Who's James Gunn? Director of Super and Sliver, and all that fun stuff.
I've never seen Slither. Maybe I'll do that.
Slither is
this week.
crazy.
Dude, I know.
Slither is
That's the only Gunn
wild.
thing I haven't seen.
Oh.
Maybe I'll do that this week because that's been on my list for a minute.
I liked Sliver. I did not like Super at all.
I didn't fuck with Super. I think that's probably why I've never seen Slither.
Yeah, Sliver's cool though. Super's
I
not
do want
good.
to check it out.
Music by John Murphy. We talked about him a little bit with Superman and how he was kind of like taken over by David Fleming on that. But this one was his full score, and he was like Gunn's in-house guy for a little bit.
He took it over from Tyler Bates.
Yeah, Tyler Bates was
Bates.
supposed to be on this one originally, and
No,
then
I think he wrote
he left the
music for it,
project
too.
He did, yeah. Jackson, you're not a huge fan of John Murphy, right?
No, I mean I think John Murphy's a very talented composer. I think
He's just not Tyler Bates.
I prefer Tyler Bates's collaborations with
Mhm.
Gunn over Murphy's, generally speaking. I think Guardians, granted, I haven't seen Slither, but I think Guardians 2 is my favorite original score on a Gunn film.
Okay.
That's a really beautiful, and that's one of the better like Marvel scores too. I feel that's a really beautiful, and I feel like often overlooked score. I think like because that movie is so reliant on needle drops,
Yeah.
the orchestral stuff sometimes doesn't get the credit it deserves.
I really like the score on this one though. There's a lot of memorable
fun one,
tracks
yeah.
when you like rewatch it. That's not just it is soundtrack heavy, but it's also
No,
there's plenty
the
of
score
score
in
in
this
this
one
one.
works really well for what it is.
I was also gonna say I was looking at John Murphy's work, and he did the original 28 Days
Oh
Later
yeah, no,
movie.
his theme for
That
that is
score,
fucking killer. His theme for
oh
that is
dude,
killer, dude.
it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
his
I
theme for
can't.
the original 28 Days Later is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, he had it. Cast here, crazy amount of people: Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, Idris Elba, Bloodsport, John Cena, obviously is Peacemaker. Joel Kinnaman comes back as Rick Flag. Stallone voices King Shark. Viola
Yep.
Davis is back as Waller. Des Malchin's Polka Dot Man. Daniela Melchior is Ratcatcher 2. Peter Capaldi is Thinker. And then just a ton of other cameo characters. A lot of James Gunn's typical people: Nathan
Yeah.
Fillion, Sean Gunn, Jennifer Holland,
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Like it's got all your standard James Gunn stuff. The one cameo character that I like think is pretty notable here that I like is that John Ostrander, who he wrote the '80s Suicide Squad run that this is heavily inspired by, plays the doctor that shoots up Michael Rooker in the beginning, and I always love that
Oh,
little.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a cool cameo and homage, especially because they're pulling so much from that run. The other thing I found casting wise, well, I guess I found two things. One is that Scott Eastwood from the original Suicide Squad, like that random agent guy. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember him at all? He was
Yeah,
No.
people
supposed to
were
come.
theorizing that he was Dick Grayson for like the longest time.
Apparently, he was supposed to come back for this. He had like a 3 picture deal. WB just didn't want to pay him a lot of money, and they said they weren't really sharing scripts with him, so he dropped out at a certain point. But
What the
I'm just
hell?
like, of all the characters to be like, yeah, you're gonna come back, Scott Eastwood,
For what?
Yeah,
for
yeah.
why?
It's wild because I remember when when the first Suicide Squad movie first came out, and he was like, obviously this random soldier type who was like really jokey, but had like a little bit of charisma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people, I remember on like little
I have to look this up. I
forum
have no idea who the
fan
fuck we're talking about.
fan forums and stuff like that. People were like, "Oh my god, that has to be Dick Grayson." Because people were so
So
hopeful after Batman v Superman, and then
yeah,
Zack Snyder comes out and he's like, "Yeah, no, Dick Grayson is dead."
Oh my god, you're okay. Yeah, I do
yeah, it's
remember
Clint
this
Eastwood's
fucking
kid,
guy.
some
Yeah, yeah.
random guy.
I just
Yeah.
didn't remember. Yeah, he's like barely in this movie.
Yeah, so I was reading about that. I'm like, that was the guy they offered a multiple picture deal, Scott
What the
Eastwood.
hell?
Yeah. The other one that was interesting was that Dave Bautista always expressed interest in being in this movie, and he was originally supposed to be Peacemaker, but he had scheduling conflicts with Army of the Dead.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, what?
And honestly, like hot take, I think that would have worked just as well. Maybe I think Cena probably like embodies the role now, but a Dave Bautista Peacemaker would have worked for me. I think.
Oh, it would have, but like I'm glad Cena did it. Like it's one of those, especially after rewatching the show, that he's just Peacemaker. Like it's just hard to imagine anybody
Yeah,
else doing
I
it.
don't know if we would have gotten a Dave Bautista Peacemaker show,
Yeah.
but we definitely John Cena's like from the moment you see him in this one,
Yeah.
he's just in there. And it's awesome. Budget here 185 million, but box office 168.7 million. That was because if you guys remember back then, they
Day
did
and day release.
the day and day HBO Max thing. Did you guys when those were coming out? Did you go see a lot of those movies, or did you watch HBO Max for
I went to
most of
the
them?
theater as much as I could.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I
Oh yeah.
I went to theater for this. I watched Wonder Woman 84 on the streaming.
Actually, same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too because it was Christmas and I watched it on Christmas. Which, in
Well, yeah.
retrospect, I should not have done that.
Didn't it release on Christmas Day?
Yeah, on Christmas
Yeah.
Day. I
Yeah. Yeah.
remember
I watched it
Christmas
with my
Day,
family.
like after presents and everything. I was like, guys, we need to watch Wonder Woman
I was
2.
the same way, and it
and
sucked.
and I feel like such guilt for making my family do that. You know.
Yeah, me too.
No, honestly, a lot of the 2021 movies I watched on HBO Max just because I was 16 and broke. I remember I saw Dune and I saw this movie in theaters, but the two
Yep.
that was like I need to go.
Although was Dune Day and Day?
Yeah, Dune was day and date.
Was it really? Wow.
Yeah, which sucked,
Dune was
but
day and day.
I didn't.
Wow,
that whole
I
year
didn't know
was
that.
that whole year
I didn't
was.
remember that being day and day. I thought that was like a weird exception, but maybe I was
No,
tripping.
everything from 2021 was day and day. So it was a
Not
weird
Tenet.
time. Yeah, not. Oh, but Tenet came out before they did that whole thing.
Yeah.
Mm, it was a whole mess.
Also,
Uh,
Nolan just never would have allowed that.
no one would have never. And he got pissed, so he left
Uh huh.
anyway. So yeah, let me go through some like production history here because they had the first Suicide Squad right in 2016. that was a whole mess of a production, but it came out and was super financially successful. So they were planning a bunch, like a sequel and spin-offs. They had a Deadshot spin-off plan, Gotham City Sirens of Harley Quinn. They had that Harley Quinn and Joker Jared Leto
Yeah.
movie. They had a whole bunch of stuff. What happened was David Ayer ended up moving on to the Gotham City Sirens project, and they took him off the Suicide Squad sequel, even though that project never panned out anyway. So they did a new director search in 2017. Some names they were throwing around: Mel Gibson, of all people, David Goyer, who's wrote a lot of DC stuff and's been around, and Ruben Fleischer, who did the Venom movies, Uncharted, Zombieland, stuff like that. And then in 2018, Hamid Colette Sarah was like officially signed on. He ended up doing Black Adam, if you guys remember.
Oh
But
wow.
what happened was, oh, and Smith and Robbie were still attached at that point. He was like, he got attached to Jungle Cruise, and he was like, I'm gonna go do something more original instead of just a sequel to someone else's thing. So that's why he jumped off of of all reasons. So, and then for a while, Gavin O'Connor was attached. He did the accountant movies,
Huh.
if you guys have seen those, and he's worked with Ben Affleck a lot. At this point, Jared Leto was still attached, and Black Adam was the main villain of his script,
Of what now?
of the Suicide Squad sequel script for Gavin
Oh,
O'Connor.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Jared Leto, Smith, Robbie, Black Adam around, and he said it was really going to focus on Will Smith's daughter and him, their relationship. But he moved on because they were developing Birds of Prey, and he said Birds of Prey's script was very similar to his, and it felt like a clashing, like they were undercutting him. So he dropped out. Then the whole thing with James Gunn, as you guys know, the tweets came out, and he got fired from Guardians, and then WB was like instantly scooped him up and was like, "We want you to work on Superman." He's like, "No, I'm gonna work on Suicide Squad because that's what I've always wanted to work on." And then they hired him back for Guardians. He's like, "I gotta finish this." You know the whole story. And yeah, and that's how we got kind of where we were. And then pandemic delayed it a bit, and it came out in 2021 with the day and date. I found some characters he considered here that were interesting. I'm just gonna run through them. Sportsmaster, dog welder. That's the guy that welds dogs to faces. Would have been cool.
Of course.
Batmite, which he's talked about really wanting to see. Livewire, Punch and Julie, Chemo, KG Beast, which I guess would probably have to be a new KG Beast considering the one from Batman v
Yeah.
Superman gets fucking dog wiped. Solomon Grundy, Rainbow Creature, Gunhawk, Knockout, Killer Frost, and Mr. Freeze. And then he also considered using Black Manta from the Aquaman movie.
That would have been
So
sick.
Yahya Abdul Mateen, which I actually would really like that one. Kind of bummed that didn't
Yeah.
happen.
It would
I
have
also
established a little bit more connection between the movies, and especially because Black Manta is one of the more prominent members of like the New 52 run of
right.
Suicide Squad. Him and Reverse Flash, they have like this insane panel where like it's just them two versus like a whole coalition of like
Hmm.
covert agents or whatever, and it's just Black Manta and Reverse Flash going crazy on them, and it's like it is the most insane comic panels that I think I've ever seen in a Suicide Squad comic.
Well, what I really enjoyed about Thunderbolts from that came out this year was that it pulled from prior projects and used a lot of characters that had already established from a universe. And it would have been cool if DC had a lot of movies to do the same thing, where they could have pulled from all these other
Also,
movies and assembled a team.
maybe I'm tripping, but wasn't Gunn? Didn't Gunn try to get Will Smith back?
Yes, Will Smith was kind of offered it, and he ultimately passed on it. He was attached for a while, and Idris Elba was kind of the stand-in.
Yeah.
As I think at one point they were just considering making Idris Elba Deadshot, and that's why Bloodsport is such a similar arc and character to Deadshot. I think they just were kind of like, we need this archetype in the movie, and he wrote the character in the script of Idris Elba in mind as a replacement because he assumed Smith wasn't coming back, and so we never got Smith. He also said he didn't want to use Jared Leto's Joker again because he didn't feel like Waller would have any use for him on a team.
Yeah.
And so that's why we only get certain characters back, which I think he pulls ones that worked well. I think Rick Flag is honestly the one that I'm surprised he pulled back, but also works surprisingly well in this.
Agreed.
But the other thing Jackson I found is that he said he
I
chose not
know. I
chose not to use
know.
Kite Man.
I know. God damn it! I know.
Man,
I
we could have saw your
know.
boy.
I know. I heard his reasoning. Trust me. I know.
I feel like it's not a great reasoning considering he has Polka Dot Man in this.
Is Polka Dot Man in the Harley Quinn show?
No, he said, and Wikipedia said that he felt the character was already a punchline and would not feel fresh for the film. That's what the reasoning said.
Oh,
I don't think it was because of
interesting.
the show that he didn't use Kite
I
Man.
could have sworn it was because of the Harley Quinn show.
Oh no. But I think you could have swapped out Polka Dot Man and Kite Man. It would have been the same
No, for
type of
sure.
thing.
But at least Kite Man is canon now. So, well, actually, I gotta listen. Which episode was that in? Because I gotta see if
Oh, he was mentioned in Peacemaker?
yeah, because there's like a newspaper,
Oh, it's sick.
and it says that that's the first villain that Peacemaker fought was Kite Man.
Jackson, have you ever watched Batman Brave and the Bold?
No,
Dude, Kite Man is in that show so much.
is he?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's so like every episode opens with like a cold open of Batman and some random superhero teaming up on a villain. Kite Man is in like seven of those
Oh,
in
that's
like
so
one
funny.
season, and he's always the cold open. He's always the cold open villain that they're going up
That's
against.
awesome.
So I would whenever we get to it for the pod, which I'm sure we will. But yeah, I cannot wait to see your reaction to like those seasons
The Kite
because
Man
it is
cold opens.
hilarious.
Dude, that's awesome.
All right, we should
But
probably
yeah,
talk about this movie.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. Let me get over some general impressions. Like, where were you in 2021? How did you feel about it? And where are you kind of at now? Jackson.
Dude, I liked this movie when it came out. I liked it a lot, and my opinion really has not changed since.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Jalen?
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. I went to go watch it with my mom and my aunt, and we were sitting in the theater, and they did not rock with it at all.
Well,
They did not rock with it at all
that's
because
the funny thing too. My dad hated it when he saw it.
yeah, exactly. Because like I basically told them because they're not really big movie or comic book people at all, right? So I told them that, but they love Guardians of the Galaxy. So I told them, especially my mom. My mom loves Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Rocket is her favorite. Rocket and Tony Stark are her two favorite Marvel characters of all time, right? So I was telling her that this is the same guy who wrote and directed those movies, and we went to go watch it, and she was sitting in there, and she was like, "I don't really know if I rock with this for real." So then, but I loved it, dude. And then I've tried to watch it a few times since then, but I think if I'm being completely honest, this is only like the third time that I've rewatched that movie, which is rare for me because I rewatch comic book movies on the daily, on the
Yeah.
weekly, you know what I mean? Just because I love comic book movies that much. And this is only the third time that I've watched it, and I forgot how good this movie was. I also forgot how goofy it was at times, a little too
Yeah,
goofy, but I really, really, really liked it.
Yeah, that's awesome. My history is interesting. I was like so excited for this, and I remember I was camping up in like a more remote area when this movie came out, and so there was one theater that was like nearby, like 15 miles away. So we went to go to this theater, right? By the way, I'm 16 at this time. I turned 17 like 2 weeks later. I get carded for like you know how theaters like, oh, you
yeah,
have to be a certain age. Yeah, they
yeah.
carded me for this movie, and so I couldn't go see it. Like they wouldn't let me in. I was like, "Are you shitting me? It's like 2 weeks until my 17th birthday," and they're like, "Yeah, no, you can't go."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay, fine." Then I had to watch it on HBO Max, like the first viewing, because I was like, "I have to see this movie like right now. I don't want to wait like a week to watch it."
Yeah,
So I watched it that way. I got home to like my normal place, went to the theater, got carded again. Mind you, there's like a week until my 17th birthday. And so I just pulled out, like, I was in dual enrollment. So I pulled out a college ID and just like pretended. I was like, I don't have my license on me. I don't know where it's at, but I am 17. Like, here's the proof. And they let me in. And so I just remember how difficult it was to go see this movie in theaters
yeah.
for whatever reason.
That's
The
funny.
other two things, I have this shirt from Fandom. If you guys
Oh
ever
yeah. Oh,
watched
I remember.
Fandom, yeah,
That's
uh,
awesome. That's a
and
relic of the past,
it's
dude.
a relic of the past. I treasure this shirt deep. It's actually a sick shirt too. It's got all the characters on it, and I also have the fancy 4K
Oh,
that I
nice.
picked up a while ago.
I need to
But I
get
don't
that.
love I don't love the
It's
cover
a
on it. I
bad
kind of wish
cover.
the cover was like it's just them all
No, and it sucks
screaming.
because that's a movie with a lot of good posters.
I know, and it makes me sad. But I was like, I want the 4K, so I copped that. And honestly, ever since I've watched this originally, I have considered it one of my favorite movies in the genre. I think it's fantastic. I think it's honestly like I love really comic booky shit that's over the top and just leans into it. That's why I love Infinity War and X-Men Days of Future Past and
Yeah.
Spider-Verse and stuff like that. And this falls into that line. I watched this I think I watched this 4 times before Peacemaker came out.
Oh wow.
Was like 4 watches in, and then I haven't watched it a lot, maybe once since Peacemaker came out. So this has been a couple years, but I was like really into this movie. I was obsessed for a while, and I still am because it's fucking awesome. So, um, yeah, Jalen, let me start with you. How do you feel like this one is holding up? Where do you feel like its strengths are right now?
I feel like it's holding up really well, man. I mean, I feel like it's just in the way that in the way that James treats these characters, and in the way that especially every character has a moment. You know what I mean? And every character has like something that you truly gravitate towards, right? Kind
Mm-hmm.
of very, very, very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, but in a completely different way, where it's like these people are clearly villains, but there is such a trauma beneath each and every single one of them, which he explored in Guardians, but he didn't. But the only person who he truly, really, like wholeheartedly explored that with is like Rocket and Nebula and Gamora, right? But when it comes to these characters, you could see each and every single one of their flaws, I guess, in the way that they are characterized in this movie, and I really, really, really enjoyed that, man. Especially for like Ratcatcher.
Yes.
I remember watching it, and like Ratcatcher was like one that I was like, okay, I'm interested to know who this is, because I was familiar with Ratcatcher 1 from like
Okay.
older comics, but I wasn't familiar with Ratcatcher 2 until this movie. And then also like I saw Daniela McAlor, who I think this was like one of her first features that she had ever did, one of her first projects that she had ever did. So I
At
was like
least
really,
American wise, yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And people were like just raving about how she was like her and Polka Dot Man were the standout characters. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay, cool, 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 cool. So I went in, and bro, it was I teared up. I teared up on multiple moments between her and Bloodsport, and her father, surprisingly played by Taika Waititi, randomly got me like in a place where I was like, man, I didn't expect this to move me as much, and it didn't move me when I was in the theater. But when I was like just sitting down watching it, I was like, dude, this is crazy, man. But overall, man, the movie is great. It is definitely top three DCEU for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Also, I do want to shout out Henry Bram's work on this, the cinematographer. This is a really cool looking movie. I think the visuals in this thing are really fucking sick.
It's so
From the
crisp.
production design to the costumes to the lighting, it's all just it comes together to create one of the more unique looking films in this kind of genre. Excuse me, in this genre, especially on like this turn of the decade.
What I like about it, especially like even costuming, is that there's very over the top costumes. You have seen his
Yeah.
Peacemaker suit, which is like vibrant colors, very pulled from the 80s and stuff like that. And then you have like Bloodsport or Harley Quinn, which is more muted and realistic of
Uh
what the
huh.
DCU kind of established. And it's a nice blend of grit and also like fantasism that
Uh huh.
merges
Agreed.
really well. And man, I love to, like you said, Jalen, with the characters. I remember when this movie was coming out, we didn't know like who was gonna die. We had some like strong theories of like
Mhm.
random characters, but it was cool how we didn't really fully know who our main group was gonna be until we watched the movie. And the main group that we do settle on are all like just such strong characters. I think
Oh
the only
yeah,
one that's not really like going through a huge character arc is maybe King Shark, and even he gets some really touching moments.
I would also say Harley Quinn as like the one who goes through the least.
That's true. She's just
Yeah.
kind of standard Harley Quinn, but I mean, it's Margot
Hmm.
Robbie,
It
and
works.
it's
Exactly. Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. It works. you
And she also gets
you
one
love
of the
her.
coolest scenes in the movie, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah, and
I
it's okay
I
because she just had Birds of Prey the year before, so it
That
wasn't
too,
like
yeah.
we were
Ironically enough,
lacking.
that scene when I first watched it in theaters, I did not. That was the only scene in the movie that I didn't really. You're talking about the one where she goes through that little.
The
She goes through the
flowers.
hallway. Yeah, the
Yeah.
flowers, the killing people. I actually didn't really like that scene when I first watched it. But
Interesting.
then
Why is
this
that?
it felt at the time it felt too comic booky, and I know that's so weird to say now, especially when we have movies like Superman and Fantastic Four and like all these stuff where like you want to see that type of stuff. But at the
Yeah.
time it kind of took me out of it because the movie felt like leading up to that point at that time for me, because I was like 18 or 17, somewhere around there. And like at that time, it felt like your standard comic book movie. If it felt like you had your ultra realism, but then you had your, fantastical elements. But then that scene was like ripped straight out of a comic book. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I didn't really like it, but it definitely took me out of it a little bit. And like I think on the second and third rewatch, it is genuinely one of the best scenes that Harley has in the DCEU. It's so good.
Yeah, I think this movie's very well choreographed too, with all the fights. It's a nice blend of all their different abilities and powers, and nothing feels like overwhelmingly weird power scale wise. Like you get Polka Dot Man's shit, which is awesome, where he just can tear through Starro's limb, or you can just get something. Honestly, I was gonna say with Bloodsport, I would love to see more of his abilities, because you get a little bit of his guns at the end, but you don't really get to see his full extent of him being able to change his
Yeah.
suit to all these different weapons. Jackson, is there a character here that really stands out for you compared to others?
Ratcatcher.
Yeah, with
I
Daniela.
really like Ratcatcher. I
Yeah,
mean, I really like all the core team that like kind of goes on their way to survive. I really like all of them. I really enjoyed Rick Flag as well. I
Oh yeah, Rick Flag was also a really
That was
good
at
one.
like that kind of point in the DCU where nothing was really kind of connecting together. So I was really desperate for some connective tissue. So it made me really happy to see Flag and um, Captain Boomerang back.
I think Flag might be the biggest turnaround of a character
One
from
hundred
one
percent.
movie to the other, because
100. He sucks in the original.
yeah, he sucks, man. I remember I had a Funko of him, and I would always like push
I
him
I,
in the
I
back.
think I literally think I had that same one. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
I had it for like $5. I pushed in the back because I would just like line him up, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about Rick Flag. And I remember he was coming back for this. I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, man, he rocks in this one. He's so like his personality is so much better. He's just a more like he's the rock of the group, but he's also like he. You could just tell he's tired of it, but
Yeah,
also like it works really well, and I kind of wish we had more movies with him.
I know. It made me sad that he died.
I would love to see more, and I'm excited to see how Rick Flag Senior kind of plays off that more in Peacemaker,
Yeah,
because
agreed.
his death is going to be a big thing. And yeah, I mean, similarly, we talked about Peacemaker. I think he's such a standout here. He plays really well off everyone. Him and Idris Elba play off super well together, so much so that I'm like, I want to watch that new Prime Video movie that came out,
I
just
Jason
want
because
Idris
Statham.
they're.
Elba back in these movies.
You think he should come back at some point?
Yeah, I
I
totally want to see him again.
I wonder where he would come back
I
though.
don't know where, but
It would it
like,
would it would be interesting to see him and David Cornsweet Superman have an interaction, especially because I don't know if this part of the Suicide Squad is canon. Because I know some aspects of the Suicide Squad are canon, but the part where he's like, "I shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet," and like
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
killed him. I wonder if that will be something that's canon or something that's not canon.
I don't
But
think that's canon. I don't think that would line up with the timeline.
yeah, but it
You
would
don't
it
think
would
so?
be super interesting to see an interaction between him and Nicholas Holt Lex. Because in the comics, actually, fun like little backstory for that version of Bloodsport. He's Robert Dubois, and he was a Vietnam draft evader, and basically he bribed his brother into going into his place, and his brother lost both of his legs and both of his arms. And basically this version of Bloodsport ended up going deep into like a whole drug addiction
Mm-hmm.
thing because of the guilt that he had for sending his brother to Vietnam in his place, right? And Lex Luthor finds him and basically gives him all this tech and all this other stuff, and he causes like this big cataclysm where he does shoot Superman, but then it causes all these like villains and all these conglomerates to come up and try to truly make and offensive play against like the Justice League and all this other stuff because they saw Superman as invincible
That's
or
cool.
as vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right.
So it will be interesting to see something along those lines with David Cornsweet and Nicholas Hoult with Idris Elba. Because
That'd be
they're all
neat.
really great performers.
I would like to see him more differentiated from Deadshot because he pretty much is the same character, just
Yeah.
honestly done a little better because it's not in such a
Terrible
movie.
movie.
Yeah. And I would love to see like what makes him stand out compared to just being Deadshot again. Because even the stuff with his daughters is pretty similar. By the way, though, Storm Reed is always like excellent. She has like 2 scenes in this and
Yeah.
kills it both times. Polka Dot Man is also
Awesome.
like awesome. I love David Desmalchin. I think he is like a mainstay in the comic book genre. He's been in so many different things, and like this was his true chance to shine,
I
and
mean,
he
Jesus,
kills
how
it
many
here.
fucking DC projects has this guy been in?
I
How many
mean, if we think
superhero
about
projects has this guy been in? That's what you like. That's like the true question. This guy's been in so
exactly,
much.
he's been in a
Well,
bunch of
whatever.
animated
Yeah, I
stuff
gotta say, whatever DC thinks he's been in, plus 3 Ant-Man movies.
plus free Ant-Man movies. I just remember him being in the Flash a lot
He
as
was in
like the
Gotham, right?
oh shit, he was in Gotham.
And he was in The Dark Knight.
He was in the Dark Knight, but that's a really small role.
But he's in
He
The
is in
Dark
it.
Knight.
He's in everything, man, and he
Yeah.
should be in everything. Honestly, I hope they give him more like voice over roles in some of these animated projects, like Creature Commandos would be really cool because he's such a versatile actor. And I love the little bit with him always seeing his mom in this one and how it's played like comedy, but also like a very traumatic thing for
Yeah.
him. He is such a tragic character while
He
also
is.
being so ridiculous that I think James like that's like his sweet spot of how to adapt a character is what he does with Polka Dot Man here. And I
Also,
think
sorry if I can't run it back. It is incredible how many like amazing directors love working with David too. Like he's worked with Nolan on multiple occasions. He's also a
yeah,
regular. He's a regular with Denis Villeneuve, which I just think is really cool.
Mike Flanagan as well. I
Mike
mean, he's
Flanagan, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another one. Yeah, I mean it, he's very much been a character actor most of his career, but I wouldn't overlook just like how good this dude is.
Oh, dude, that's why I'm so happy he got the lead in Late Night with the
Yeah,
Devil. It's so
mhm,
good. It is so good, and like he does such a great such a great job in it, and he should
no, that's
definitely.
what I'm saying. He's an actor that a lot of people overlook because when he's in things, he's usually not in it that much. But like you look at like Prisoners, Denis Villeneuve, he's
mhm.
not in that movie very much, but like the presence that he carries when he's there is crazy. He's so unsettling. And I'm
So
sorry, that's
good.
just a very long-winded way of saying that like Suicide Squad was a long time coming where he gets to be pushed more to the forefront
Right.
and really just let like a lot of what makes him a great actor shine.
Yeah. And I honestly, I just hope he gets another big role like
Agreed.
in a franchise that he could play for a while because that's the saddest part of Polka Dot Man. It's just
I
that he
know.
fucking goes out like a champ at the end there. But it's such a strong team. Even King Shark, like, not a big fan of Stallone these days, but he
No.
really does do a lot with this role. It's very
Yeah, he
fun.
does.
Like he plays the dumb oaf very.
And
I that's another character I want to see. He was in Creature Commandos at the end, wasn't he?
yeah, so it seems like he'll be a regular on the team in season 2.
That'd be awesome. I think King Shark's so fun. I love the scene with him looking out the window in the van. That always makes me
Yes.
so
I
sad.
know.
It's so
Oh my god, that's
cool.
no, it's when they're in the club and they're all dancing and it cuts back to him just kind of like bobbing his head in the truck. It like melts my
Oh,
heart.
the mustache bit with
Oh
him
yeah,
is
yeah.
so fucking funny.
He's great.
Man,
This is
love
a
King
good ass
Shark.
movie, dude. Like
It is.
my dad when if I could if you would indulge me for a minute. My dad when he first saw it hated it cuz he thought it was like too silly
Yeah.
and he refused to watch it for like years. He refused to give it another try because he just didn't fuck with it. And finally, like literally the day before we were gonna go see Superman, I was like, Dad, I'm gonna watch Suicide Squad. Do you want to watch? And he said yes. And so we turned it on, and he had a blast watching it. I don't know what happened, but he like really enjoyed it this time around. And he just finished watching Peacemaker for the first time
Yeah.
too, and he really enjoyed that.
I think it's like I could see how people think it's silly, but there's so many.
Well, it is silly, but I think silly's
But
good. Like I
but when
think
you have a team like Suicide Squad, it's not
that's what I'm
inherently
saying.
supposed to be.
Yeah, it's silly, but I don't think silly is bad in this case. Silly is not inherently a bad thing to be.
It's like a beautiful mix of Gunn's early R-rated stuff, but
Yeah,
also
more
what he did with
sincere.
Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you merge those two things, he's like really in his sweet spot here, where I feel like sometimes that PG-13 rating kind of restricts him a little
Mm,
bit with what he wants to do, and this one is that's why this is my favorite Gunn movie. I mean, I want to rewatch
really?
some of them. Yeah, this is my favorite one.
That's
Can't lie.
interesting.
This is also my favorite gun movie.
Really?
Yeah, this is my favorite gun movie.
I love it,
It's so
man. I
good.
think it's an
That's
airtight one for
interesting.
me.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you guys, did you prefer this over Superman? Granted, Superman is still amazing, but I think I personally prefer this just because it's
It-
so it's so clean all the way throughout, man.
No,
mhm.
Character, story.
I'm more like I'm a Guardians 2 guy still.
Yeah, see now that's like one of my least favorite ones.
Oh, oh.
It's cool though. I mean it's like least
I've
favorite and
been
it's still
I've been
good.
on the trenches having Guardians 2 and Thor 1 as my favorite MCU movies. I'm in the fucking trenches, bro.
You're deep in them, bro. You
Yeah.
are very deep in them, man.
No, this has always been like a 10 out of 10 for me. Like this was my favorite movie of 21 for probably a
Really?
while. Like I don't know if it still is. I have to look back at some stuff, but it's up there. I just think it's one of those ones that hasn't escaped me. Like I said, like Infinity War, like Logan, like Days of Future Past. It's like up there in that tier for me where I just always think about it and it's always
Well, but
like
like, in terms of Days of Future Past, there's already another X-Men movie that's better than that.
what are you talking about?
First Class.
No. I won't get into it. I love Days of Future Past. But I think I just love big ensemble things that are very comic booky and
Yeah.
very like over the top. I also love we don't get to see a lot of the supporting team that's in the beginning, but
They're
I
all
think there's
so
a
fun.
lot of fun faces in there. Michael Rooker's Savant is the perfect like intro character to guide you through.
Yeah.
Um I think Pete Davidson does a lot with his like 2 minutes of screen time here. Weasel is really cool, and I'm glad that they're bringing him back, even though he looks like a little freak in live action
He
now. After
looks
having,
like a freak, dude.
it was weird watching him now after seeing him so much in the animated show. I kind of
Yeah.
forgot how like textured he was and how fucking ugly that guy looks.
Also, it is fun how much this clicks up with Creature Commandos and Peacemaker. It clicks up quite well.
Yeah, and that, I mean that speaks to Gunn writing all this stuff
Yeah.
and really being on top of it. It's interesting to see Nathan Fillion in this too, especially after we
Uh-huh.
just saw him as Green Lantern. Uh, they kind of make it like the TDK isn't gonna die, but I assume now that he's not gonna come back because why would you bring Nathan Fillion back
Yeah.
in that when he's Green Lantern? But they set it up in this one where he's like, is he dead? Is he not? He's like in critical condition,
Yeah,
and I think they planned probably to not kill him originally.
for sure.
I also thought it was interesting that Sean Gunn like full on shows up here as Calendar Man when
Yeah.
he's also like. It's just interesting that Gunn keeps bringing back all his. It's very Adam Sandler of him, where he always brings back his favorite people to just do a bunch of different
Which I respect
roles.
the hell out of that. I do the same thing. So I don't
Yeah,
like I
and
everyone judges him, but it's like I can't sit here and act like I
like you
wouldn't do
wouldn't do
the
the same, right?
I would do the exact same thing. Like
I would too.
I'm not gonna pretend otherwise.
And
Like
unlike Adam
you
Sandler, at
would
least he's
see.
like bringing his guys back for good roles. Where I feel like Adam Sandler just kind of like
Yeah.
brings his guys out for a weekend trip and then like makes a movie.
Yeah.
Gunn at least like has thought where he puts his brother and Nathan Fillion and all these people.
Yeah.
Even like I love to see Palm Clementif in like a brief moment
Uh-huh.
in the club. Like that's really cool to see.
I'm
Yeah,
excited
man.
to see who she ends up being in this new DCU because he's gonna put her somewhere. And she's a
I'm
She could
really
do
gonna
good actress.
she
I'm
could do
gonna go on a
Katana
limb and say
again.
Katana. Yeah, I was about to say yeah, Katana.
Yeah. But even though I like Karen, I thought she was such a good casting as Katana.
She was.
If they did a new one, Palm would work too. Yeah, man. I also love the title cards in this, how it's structured.
I
I
love
think
that.
each sequence feels very unique and interesting, and I kind of wish I had heard a rumor that Superman had title cards, and I kind of wish those had title cards too.
You can tell exactly what they were supposed to be.
Yeah, that would have been fun to like. I think it's such a unique way to
Structure, yeah. I
structure
agree.
the thing, and each sequence is very fun. Is there a sequence to you guys that really stands out in this compared to others?
So many, man. The sequence when they're in Starro, the flower sequence, like we said, the rats where like they're all running up to
Mm-hmm.
Starro. That's a really, really, really good one. Um, I don't know, man. This movie is just like has so many memorable moments all
Yeah,
throughout.
Jackson.
Standout sequences. Oh boy. Uh Obviously the sequence near the end where all the rats are swarming Starro is like
Right.
a given. That's kind of a cheap answer, but I mean that's one that always really gets me. I love that scene.
I love the whole invading the tower part from like the moment they
That's a
step
fun one,
out.
yeah.
That range shot I love so much. I
Well, it
think
also has the
it's like
best needle drop in the movie.
it does. Hell
It
yeah.
is Doolittle, one of the best albums of all time. If you've never listened to it, listen to it. It's so good. That's
But then
all.
it's just like such a fun mission of them trying to invade everything, and you get the Rick Flag Peacemaker standoff, and then
Yeah.
Peacemaker and Idris Elba fight, and I think that whole little bit is really strong. Even the stuff with King Shark making the clay doll thing, it's a very that's one of the strongest parts of the movie for me, and then it feeds into that end, which is really strong. Also, I didn't mention it, but Amanda Waller bringing her back again was also like a brilliant move because Viola Davis is just like her, and
Oh
I
yeah, she's so good. I am so glad she's sticking around for this new DCU. I just want to see a lot of her. I want to see her. I hope she's in this new season of Peacemaker. Like
yeah,
she is S tier comic book casting, and I want to see more of her. Like I hope her show gets made. Like I really do. Like I
I
want
do
to
too.
see so much more of her.
I will say I the one thing that James Gunn said that I agree is that David Ayer and his casting director did a great job on
Oh
that
yeah,
first Suicide
yeah, I
Squad.
completely agree. There's not really a character in that movie that well, there's one, but everyone else,
Yeah.
I'm never
Oh, I
gonna
know.
get on board with Jared Leto, bro. But everyone
Oh, I
else,
thought you were talking about Cara Delevingne as Enchantress. How about that was a big miss too?
I just don't give a shit about Enchantress enough to.
That's true. That's true.
I
Yeah.
don't think
I,
I don't think I don't think that the whole Cara Delevingne thing was a miss. I just think it was the wrong project. Is what I'll say.
Maybe.
I think she would have been better in like a Justice League Dark thing because I actually
Maybe.
like Cara Delevingne. But
Okay.
continue what you were saying, Jackson.
no, Jared Leto is where I was going with that.
That's another one I think could have been good in a better. I don't know, but
Maybe
that was Jared Leto's
we got
fault that it was
we got
bad. So I don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying, bro.
it's
Like,
it's crazy that in the DCEU we got two of the most out there comic book villain castings that are two of
And
the
like the
biggest
same year.
villains in
do
history.
not keep his
Jesse
name out of your fucking
Eisenberg
mouth. Keep his name out of your
and
mouth.
Jared Leto
Keep his
as
name
like
out of your
your
mouth.
two premier DC villains is wild, dude.
It was a weird year back
Keep
in
his
2016.
keep his name out of your mouth, Jalen. Real
Anyway,
quick.
though, I was gonna say yeah,
Stupid.
like the
Ooh,
castings
look at
were
me on Jalen, and I took him from you in the fucking draft. You stupid, stupid, stupid idiot.
bro. I'm so happy that he brought back the select members that he did because that would have been such a waste to only have Viola Davis in
Yeah,
2016. Even Jai Courtney, his like little brief moment as Boomerang,
yeah, it's fine.
I wanted to see more of him. I was disappointed that we only get a little bit. I think it's ballsy to kill him off like that, but
Yeah.
I think he really could lean into that character in another movie if they gave him one.
Also, for the record, Jalen, I blame you for the fact that Jesse Eisenberg's not coming back for the Social Network too. Like, I think that's your fault.
Yeah,
But sorry,
Oh my
continue.
god.
just bad karma, man.
Yeah, no, I blame him completely.
Is it? Is it? Hey man, I don't regret it, bro. It was so entertaining
Dickhead.
to see a Jackson crash out
Stupid
on that
dick.
Yeah.
episode.
Are there anything here that you would consider a big weak point
I
in
mean, the
this one?
humor is a bit hit or miss for me, but that's like, I mean, it's a comedy, so
Yeah,
I don't like. It hits sometimes. Like and it also it doesn't. There aren't jokes where I'm like kind of cringing. Like some of them they just don't hit for me. A lot of
yeah.
them do.
Do you remember any that don't hit for you, or just kind of like overall?
Yeah, no, the bit where Rick Flag's on the top and she's like, "If you have personalized license plates, you die." Like that whole bit didn't work for me.
The
Yeah.
only thing that didn't necessarily work, and the only joke that didn't work for me was, ironically enough, Savant running.
Oh,
How
really?
he did that didn't work for me. It didn't evoke a laugh, and that's it. That's genuinely it. It just didn't. I just didn't really find that too funny. But that's just me.
I like that he does that though, because then you get to see someone's head explode. I think that should be a
Exactly.
standard in every Suicide Squad movie. Is that
Yeah,
someone's
that is
head's got to
true.
explode. I
That
mean, you
is
get it
true.
with fucking Slipknot in the first one, then you get it
Can we
with
bring back Slipknot in the new DCE? Like, I think
you,
they should bring back Slipknot in like a season of Peacemaker, make
And
him
then
the same actor, and then just
just
kill him
blow his
after
head
two
off
seconds.
again.
Yeah, yeah.
so how would he come back though? Like, they just
No,
retcon it?
I don't think they should explain it.
They shouldn't explain it. It's
Also,
just Slipknot's back.
I find it absolutely wild. Like when you look at like one implication of like that early Suicide Squad team that gets absolutely
Hmm.
demolished. So this character is on that team called Mongal,
Uh huh.
and she's
Yeah,
Mongol's sister, and he's like one of the most prolific villains in Superman's history. Has an entire world that is like enslaved, and
yeah.
yet his sister is just here.
And she went out like such
and and
a
she
weak
went
way.
out in the most terrible way. I find that hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited if they ever bring because Mongol's a big character they could use if
Yeah,
they
dude,
wanted to
Mongol
have a
is
big
huge.
threat.
Superman War World, it's like this big omnibus. Jackson, you should get it. We should read it
Huh?
for the pod one this day. It's like huge. It's like 600 plus pages,
That's
and
awesome.
it is like where Superman basically gets like enslaved on War World, and he has to free this entire society of aliens and people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is one of the best, if not the best, Superman story, other than Death and Return and all this other Superman Blue and all this other stuff. War World is so good, and it's recent, which is rare because I know comics which that could be a talk for a whole other episode, a comic episode that we do. But like Marvel and DC comics, they're very hit or miss now with their stories. Where it's like on one hand you get a bunch of originality, like how we had with Absolute, and then on the other hand you get stuff like what they're doing with Spider Man. You
Yeah.
know, where that's very hit or miss. But Superman War World is one of the best things to come out of most recent main timeline DC story. Sorry for
Hmm.
the tangent there, but so good.
Let me ask though, if you could bring one of those that original team members to like not die in the beginning and be around for the whole movie, which one would you guys pick?
Boomerang.
Boomerang.
Really? Okay. Actually, that's probably what I would pick too. I don't, I would love to see more Weasel, but maybe that's just because retroactively I liked him in Creature Commandos. But I also love that he's just a little freak.
Well, and I like that he's still alive.
I like that he's still alive too.
So here's a
Did,
question for you guys. Gunn has said that this movie is, quote, an imperfect memory in terms of like DCU canon.
mhm.
What do we think he means by that?
I think he
Some
just means he wants it to be canon, but can't officially say that because
And do you
Superman
think
has
that's
to be at
just
the
an
start.
excuse to cast Michael Rooker in the new DCU too?
Oh shit, you're right.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, it has to be. So like the events happen, different cast. Most of the events happen, just different cast.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
kind of what
Captain
I'm
America.
thinking.
I think we have to let loose canon a lot with this new one. I think it's not going to be as strict as people want it to be
No,
ever.
no, and I'm not even saying this in like a oh he's such a bitch kind of way. I'm more just like curious like
Just
what is
curious how it.
considered like the canon from this
I think he
movie.
doesn't really give a shit about canon, but he's like trying to appease all the
That's probably
nerds like
true.
us, and so he's like, "Oh, so I want to bring these people back, and I don't really care. So here's like our official reason." But
Yeah,
it's basically like a comic book reboot, you know? Some stuff stays, some stuff
yeah.
goes, and people move on. Like at the end of the day, I'm seeing good Superman content and good Peacemaker. I'm happy.
Well, and that's
I
the
don't.
thing. Like my girlfriend's mom, she watched.
Yeah,
Well, actually, her name's Abby. She'll be. I think she's coming on next week, right?
she is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like her mom watched Peacemaker. She's not gonna give a fuck about the greater DCU canon. She hasn't seen Suicide Squad. Like I think people do tend to overestimate how confusing this is gonna be for general audiences. Like my dad is like kind of a benchmark for your regular guy who goes to the movies.
Yeah.
And this just whole thing is not too confusing for him at all. Like he's never come to me because he'll come to me about timeline questions like especially with Star Wars. If there's something he's confused about, he'll come to me and ask me. He's not really shown any concern or confusion
Mhm.
over this new reboot. Like I think people on specifically on the website twitter.com have kind of blown out of proportion just how confusing it's going to be for your average moviegoer.
Yeah, I think unless it's like specifically pulling really hard from some, that's where I'm like, I think Peacemaker can do it because it's a TV show,
Yeah.
so you can pull from like the fact that Rick Flag died in this. But I
Uh-huh.
think if you were doing that same plot point in like a movie, then it'd be something you have to address a little more of like what is you have to watch and prepare for, because that was a problem with the MCU for a while the past couple of years, that they were pulling from things that were
Like
really
Daredevil.
random, like Daredevil, and it was it's still confusing to me sometimes, like what fully
It's all
encapsulates
canon.
stuff,
No, it's
right?
all canon. Like they put it on the timeline on Disney
No,
Plus.
but even like how they have like the other Marvel shows and all that shit.
Oh, like Agents of Shield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think as long as it doesn't get super messy on the film side of things, and I think you'll be chilling, because TV, I mean, people are a lot more lenient.
Well, but also, I mean, you see Peacemaker in Superman.
Yeah, but it's also like not a critical thing.
No, but it's like my point being like that happened in my theater like bursts into laughter. Like I just don't think people give a shit.
I don't think people care. I think people are gonna watch Peacemaker if they want to or not.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
like,
sorry, we're getting off track.
yeah, the
But
only
all right,
other
let me ask you. Sorry, let me ask you guys one more question then
bro,
about just the canon. If you guys are making like, let's say hypothetically in 10 years you have like a big DCU ranking, are you including Suicide Squad on that list?
no,
No.
Really?
yeah, just
Everything
because it's like
everything
artificially.
from Creature Commandos on.
I'd
And
still probably include Suicide Squad, low key.
I wouldn't include Peacemaker season 1 either.
Interesting. Okay.
I would only include season 2.
Yeah, I kind of like that there's theoretically a clean break, and I'm just going to consider it. Because, like, even Blue Beetle is going to be in the same vein as Suicide Squad, where it's like,
If that show ever gets off the
it's a
ground.
it's a memory or whatever. I just,
No, that's fair.
every
That's fair. I
I
was just
think I'm
curious.
going to separate DCU and DCEU more on just like the era of filmmaking rather than like
Yeah.
specific projects. Where like Aquaman is the end of that regime, and then
Yeah.
everything going
Sure.
forward is the Gunn
Okay.
era. The one thing I wanted to mention maybe before we wrapped up with talk here was like the villains. How did you guys feel about them bringing
Good.
Starro in
I
as the
like
main
Star.
villain, and then Finker, Peter Capaldi? I think is a really strong casting choice.
Yeah, that is a really good pick for a villain.
Yeah, Jalen.
Yeah, I really liked it, especially coming off of the Flash season 4, which I think, ironically enough, at that time I had just because I was going through a big Arrowverse rewatch, and I
Mm-hmm.
had just finished season 4 of the Flash. So to see him in this, I was like, yes. But no, it was really cool. It was really cool.
I love Peter Capaldi. I think he should be in
Yeah, he's
so many more
fantastic.
things. His Doctor Who run was like secretly one of my favorites. It was great. But
Which
yes,
I've
you
never
haven't
seen
seen it.
Doctor Who, but Luis has been on me about watching that show, so I'm gonna watch it soon.
Oh yeah, some of those earlier seasons are awesome, man. But with Starro, James Gunn said that he's like, this is the one villain I don't think any other filmmaker is going to adapt, and if they do, they're not going to do it properly. So I'm just going to do it, and I think that's like, hell
Yeah.
yeah, you go, bro. Like, do that shit. And he looks fantastic in it. He's a menacing Fred, and the effects look great, and it doesn't feel like too out there where it doesn't work for me. It's cool. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on our big
Awesome
Suicide
movie.
Squad? Yeah, Jalen.
Amazing movie, incredible.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is one of my favorites. I think that this is going to stand the test of time. When you look back on it 15, 20 years, people are going to think about this one a lot more in some or other, especially from that DCEU era. I think it's my favorite DCEU movie
Yeah, it's
too.
up there.
I just like it's so strong, and I wish we would have seen more, maybe even if we had stayed in that old universe. But yeah, next week we're gonna talk about Peacemaker season 1 and get into that, and then we'll be all prepped for Peacemaker season 2. I don't really have any big news for us this week. Jalen, you mentioned we had a casting call for My
Yes.
Adventures of Green Lantern.
Let's talk about it. I'll actually read it to you guys. How about that?
Oh yeah,
I'll read it to the listeners and the
yeah. If you got to pull up,
amazing watchers that we have right here. Give me 1 second. Okay, I got it. I got it pulled up. Okay, so apparently The role will sing in the series, looking for talent who can sing. Jessica had
Mm-hmm.
a normal childhood. She played softball, hung out with her best friends Kyle, probably Kyle Chandler, not Kyle Chandler, Jesus, Kyle Rayner,
Kyle Rayner.
and, and Nikki, and stayed out of trouble. The casting call further reads, but Jess's life collapsed when everyone around her hit puberty and got mean. Betrayed by friends and bullied out of softball, Jess
Mm.
withdrew. Better to be small and safe than to be yourself and get hurt. We meet Jess at the top of high school, a chronically anxious freshman who starts the year hoping to keep her head down and get by, but who ends up being chosen by a magic ring to be the cosmic champion of all life, the Green Lantern.
And you expressed
So
that you're concerned a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, because like I love my Adventures of Superman, man. I
Mm-hmm.
love that series so much. Especially after our first time watching it, a few weeks ago for the pod, maybe a month ago now at this point for the pod, and it was such a revelation for me, man. And then even like that one little moment where we got of I forget if it was Kara or Clark who was going up against like Brainiac's holograms, and then we saw that
Mm-hmm.
one Green Lantern, and I was like, dude, when they adapt this is going to be so cool. Like a warrior that's just in space that has like such anime style,
Yeah.
everything, bro. And then like, granted, this is just a casting call. Stuff could change, whatever, right? But I expected a little more maturity. Granted, her origin in the comics is that she has PTSD because her and her friends came across a serial killer and he
Mm-hmm.
killed both of them for as witnesses, and then she got away and now she has a bunch of PTSD for that. So I knew they weren't going to do that, but something other than, oh my God, high school is so scary, you know?
Yeah, I get that, but also when I think about my adventures, like I talk about how it feels like the shows I used to watch as a kid, like your Ben 10, your
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
OG Teen Titans from 2006 or like Pokemon or whatever. And it rides that line between being really kid friendly but also having some more mature themes. I think this is going to be a similar thing. I mean, I remember when the first images of Clark came out and he kind of had like the anime style to him. People were all concerned that he
Oh,
was
people
like
were
not
tweaking out.
masculine
Yeah.
enough
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, right? And then the show came out, and it was like such a wonderful adaptation of Superman. That is one of my favorites, and I have,
Yeah.
unless something goes wrong, I trust this creative team like wholeheartedly. I think this is going to be like the setup for it, and it's going to be high school based, and that's fine with me as long as we get some cool Green Lantern stuff
I
when she
agree.
finally gets the ring and goes down the line. I have, the singing thing is the only thing that's interesting. If it's like a musical or if it's just like for an if that's just like her hobby, I don't know.
Yeah. I
That's
wonder,
interesting to me.
don't they sing in Has Been Hotel? I haven't watched that show. Have you guys watched
Yeah,
that
they
show?
yeah they do.
I wonder if it'll be something similar to that.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm like, I don't know, but I also love musicals. I wouldn't be super opposed to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jackson, do you have any concerns with this one?
I'm not familiar enough with Jessica to like really have a strong
Yeah,
opinion on this. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
I'm just
She's
I'm
so
just not
cool.
familiar enough with the source material.
She's so cool, dude. When Green Lantern season comes around, when Lantern's about to start up, and
Yeah, we're gonna read a lot. I'm excited.
beginning of the year for Green Lantern, dude. Oh,
it'll be good.
you will not be able to hear enough of me, bro. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
singing
I
I'm
constantly. I'll send a
excited to
group
get into it
chat.
because Green Lantern is kind of a big blind spot for me.
yeah,
He
it'll
is
be a
he is
fun.
he is the member of the original seven that is the least adapted and like
Yeah,
least respected amongst those seven. He's like the Hawkeye, except for he's
yeah.
way more powerful.
Way
So
more powerful. It'll be
yeah,
good. I think this one, based on the casting call, is probably coming out next year. Then at some point,
Hopefully,
which would be cool. I want to see when season 3 of Superman comes
yes.
out.
I'm waiting.
I thought it was supposed to be this summer, and it's clearly not going to be. And I'm getting very antsy for it. So I just give me more of this. I understand your concern, Jalen, but I'm just like I want it now. I want Superman and this. I want all of the My Adventure stuff that I could get.
do you think they're waiting until this is all set up and stuff to have they shot season three or have they like voice recorded season three?
They've started, yeah. They started
Okay,
it
they've
when season 2 was
started.
wrapping. They had I showed you guys some concept art of it of Superboy and stuff. So they were working on it for a
Yeah.
while now.
Okay. So it is for sure coming out. It's not just a concept right now.
Yeah, I don't remember if Jack Quaid posted if he was finished recording lines yet, but I would have to imagine that he's done by now because it's been a year.
Yeah, let's hope
So,
so. Maybe it'll be an end of year type of thing, or maybe it'll be an early next year type of thing,
yeah.
potentially.
We'll have to see. And then the other thing, real quick, is that Superman box office is still doing pretty strong. We're at 317 domestic, 237 international for 555 worldwide. The one interesting thing I saw was that it's going to be the first time since 2008 that DC tops Marvel box office
I
wise,
saw that. That's crazy.
which
I was
is
shocked.
awesome. That's
I
very
did not
cool.
expect that, bro. I did not expect
Oh
that at
wait. If
all.
only there was someone on this podcast who did expect that.
Yeah.
Though, like if only somebody here called it.
I will say though, Jackson, the one thing is interesting is that it's right now it's pulling ahead of Jurassic World domestically, and it might. We'll have to see. I don't think it will worldwide, but it's definitely proving
That's
to be the most
interesting.
popular of the three domestically.
Well, and
Fantastic
I
Force is
think
kind of
it's
like
just it's gonna
mid.
have so much more staying power than the other two. Like Fantastic Four, it kind of came and went, like in terms of the
It
general
did,
public. In
hmm
terms of the general public, like
Unfortunately.
which is crazy because
Yeah.
it's
Superman
only
had
been
a
a week
lot.
or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like Superman is like still being memed, still like there are scenes of it being referenced. Like you hear the punk rocker song like all the time. Like it has those elements that's like really sticking with the zeitgeist, and I think that that's something that those other two movies just don't have. But that's the most important thing that this movie could do is stick with the zeitgeist,
The cultural moment,
the
yeah,
cultural moment, and it accomplished that. And I think that's a really, 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 really good sign for what's
it
about to
is.
come with the DCU. Because I mean, that's only going to mean more and more people are going to get invested if they can keep that upwards trajectory going.
Yeah, Superman performed exactly how I hoped.
Yeah, me too. It did exactly what it needed to.
Which is
It did
awesome.
good. It's good. Like again, the biggest thing is that it's sticking with film goers, like movie goers, right?
Yeah, I think when you look back, no one's gonna talk about Jurassic World Rebirth in
No,
probably by the end of the year.
no,
Fantastic Four is gonna be relevant because it's like the first good adaptation, but I don't think it's the defining moment of the MCU as people might have hoped it was gonna
no,
be.
No, it's
no.
not. I think I
As
think I
fun
think
as it is at times, it's not staying
fan
there
and
culturally.
fan and general audience interaction with the MCU is at an all-time low, obviously, because Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are both great, great movies. Like I said, for me,
And there,
Fantastic Four is my favorite MCU movie at this point in time.
hmm
But I think that people have been burned so much by this, and it is starting to be like all these Disney Plus shows or that have all went the same way. Started off interesting, middle of the way got boring. Episode 5 to episode 8 from some series is like, okay, this is so good. What is this finale? And the finale just burns them again,
right,
right? So it's like I think people are just kind of done, and plus I think people are just ready to be done with multiverse. They're like ready to just like speed it along
yeah,
and
Yeah,
like move on to everything being streamlined and maybe one show a year, two movies,
yeah,
and that's it, and
and
that's
that's what
that's
we're kind
that's
of getting with DC. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, next year is only Lanterns, whatever animated stuff they come out with, and then Supergirl and
yeah,
Clayface.
and that's just a very wide variety of, and that's the DC is still casting a wider net than Marvel is.
that's true. We're getting all these different animation styles, and it's not all like DCU stuff, which is what I've always
Yeah,
loved. Is that they always branch out. Yeah, man, Superman's just it's something that stuck with me for the longest time. Where Fantastic Four again, yeah, feels like it was there and it will be there for a little bit, but I'm happy with how things turned out. I'm
yeah,
excited for everything, and we'll touch on box office maybe if anything else is interesting, but probably nothing crazy until maybe the run wraps up, and then we'll talk about how it ended. But yeah, that's it this week. Next week we'll talk about Peacemaker. Love you guys. See you soon.
bang.